Millionaire freezes seeing exhausted girl at sewing machine while collecting rent debt. Gabriel Morrison parks his black Bentley in front of the modest workshop in the industrial district. 3 months of overdue rent, something he doesn't usually tolerate with any of his 23 commercial properties. He'd normally send his assistant Ryan to handle these awkward collections, but something pushed him to come personally today. The rusty bell on the door rings as he enters, echoing through the cramped space. The place is silent, except for the rhythmic humming of an old sewing machine. In the darkest corner of the poorly lit workshop, a small girl, no more than 8 years old, works with concentration, her tiny fingers guiding the fabric with frightening precision for someone so young. "Hello? Is there anyone in charge here?" His voice resonates among piles of fabric and mannequins. The girl jumps violently, catching her finger in the machine and letting out a muffled whimper. Gabriel freezes, carefully observing her fingers already marked with recent scars, the deep, dark circles like purple bruises under her eyes, the alarming thinness beneath faded and patched clothes. When he approaches, she backs up against the wall, shaking like a leaf. "I'm not going to hurt you, I promise. Where are your parents? Anyone who looks after you?" The girl, Mia, remains completely silent, huge brown eyes wide with fear, clinging to the chair of the machine as if it were her only protection in the world. The workshop door opens abruptly, letting in a blast of cold wind. A woman of about 35, with fake blonde hair and clothes too expensive for the setting, hurries in. Her high heels clack against the worn wooden floor. "Can I help you?" she asks with fake friendliness, strategically positioning herself between Gabriel and the girl. Her strong perfume overwhelms the smell of fabric and machine oil. "I'm Gabriel Morrison, the owner of this property. The rent is 3 months overdue, Ms. Ashley Walker." "Yes, we're going through temporary difficulties, nothing we won't sort out soon," turning sharply to the girl. "Who do you think you are, you little busybody? I've told you 1,000 times not to mess with the machines. You'll end up breaking everything." Gabriel watches the interaction with growing suspicion, noticing how the girl hunches her shoulders at the sound of the woman's voice. "Does this girl work here?" From what I can see, she was operating that machine with considerable skill. "Of course not. That's ridiculous." Ashley forces a laugh. "She's my niece, Mia. She just likes to play seamstress while I'm busy with business. She has quite the imagination, with injured fingers, obvious calluses, and an exhausted expression. Why isn't she in school at this hour of the morning?" "She's sick. Had a fever last night." "Look, if you're here about the rent, I can pay part of it now, maybe $1,000. She opens her designer handbag, flashing a wad of cash. "I'm also a human rights attorney, Mrs. Walker. I know child labor when I see it, and believe me, I've seen plenty of cases. If you don't explain exactly what's going on here, I'll call social services immediately. I'm not leaving this place without a convincing explanation. Ryan, I need you to investigate absolutely everything about Ashley Walker and her niece Mia. Hire private detectives if necessary. Something is very wrong with that situation." In his luxurious 30th floor office overlooking Central Park, Gabriel analyzes documents while his assistant presents his findings in a meticulously organized folder. Elizabeth Walker, Ashley's sister, died exactly 2 years and 3 months ago in an accident on the state highway. She was an extremely successful businesswoman in the tech industry and left approximately $5 million to her only daughter, Mia. The money is in a sophisticated trust fund that can only be used for the girl's education, health, and well-being until she reaches adulthood. Bank records show suspicious activity over the last 18 months. Gabriel frowns. Ashley never legally. He formalized guardianship of the girl, never. And there's much more. She sold 2 high-value properties that belonged to Elizabeth in the Upper East Side, withdrew significant amounts from bank accounts monthly, and most alarming, I hired a specialist to analyze some documents with apparently forged signatures. Additionally, I found this woman, Jessica Thompson, a former employee of the workshop who was fired 3 weeks ago when she questioned Ashley's methods. In a discreet cafe 2 blocks from the office, Jessica, visibly nervous, constantly glances at the door while showing a black notebook with meticulously detailed and dated notes. Mia works 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, starts at 6 a.m. She's never attended school since she came to live with Ashley. She's severely punished when she doesn't meet daily sewing quotas, no food, locked in the basement, sometimes worse. I documented everything. Social services and labor inspection officials show up regularly, but they always leave with thick envelopes. And I overheard Ashley on the phone. She's planning to take Mia out of the country in exactly 3 weeks. She has contacts in Mexico who will provide fake documents. Gabriel drives his car down the partially deserted main avenue, the light. Rain reflecting in the city's night lights. On the radio, classical music contrasts with his agitated thoughts about Mia's case. In his rearview mirror, he notices high beams suddenly appearing. Approaching at an alarming speed, the black SUV with no visible license plate follows him for 2 blocks before abruptly accelerating. Gabriel tries to swerve, but the vehicle collides with the side of his car, dangerously forcing him against the guardrail with a metallic crash of colliding bodies. Sparks fly as his car scrapes against the protective barrier. When he finally manages to stop, dazed from the impact, with a trickle of blood running down his forehead, he sees in the rearview mirror a burly man in a dark suit getting out of the SUV and walking purposefully toward him. The man's right hand remains suspiciously inside his jacket. "Mr. Morrison," the man says in a deep voice, leaning toward the window. "This is just a friendly warning. Stay away from Ashley Walker and the girl if you don't want real trouble. Some accidents are permanent, you get me? She's got some pretty heavy hitters in her corner in this city, people you really don't want to cross." Before walking away, the man drops an envelope on the car hood. Inside are photos of Gabriel entering his building at his office, meeting with Jessica. The last photo shows Gabriel sleeping in his own bed, clearly taken through his window. Gabriel, with trembling hands, recognizes the man. He's one of the social services officials who appears in the photos taken by Jessica leaving the workshop with envelopes. "Are you absolutely sure about this, Jessica?" Gabriel asks, gripping his cell phone tightly while speeding through the city. 100% sure. My friend at the travel agency confirmed it. Ashley bought tickets to Chicago tonight, 11:15 p.m. train. From there, they're heading to Mexico early tomorrow. She's got contacts waiting at the border. If she crosses with Mia, we might never find the girl again. The train terminal is partially empty, the announcements echoing between concrete arches. On platform 7, under the weak yellowish light, Ashley holds Mia firmly by the wrist with unnecessary force, while nervously checking the gold watch on her wrist. Her anxious gaze repeatedly sweeps the station. The girl, pale and silent as always, carries only a small, faded pink backpack that seems to contain all her worldly possessions. "Keep quiet and don't look at anyone," Ashley hisses at the girl. "Remember what happens when you disobey me." Gabriel, formally dressed and carrying a document folder, approaches calmly, accompanied by Ryan and 2 plainclothes police detectives who strategically position themselves, blocking possible escape routes. "Ashley Walker," Gabriel pronounces with a firm voice. "These people are police officers. You're being detained on suspicion of child exploitation, financial fraud, embezzlement, and attempted international kidnapping of a minor." Ashley turns pale but quickly composes herself. "You don't have a shred of evidence. Mia, tell them your aunt takes good care of you." To the astonishment of everyone present, Mia, who had never uttered a word in Gabriel's presence, finally speaks, her voice small but surprisingly clear. "She makes me work every day from 6 in the morning until I can't anymore. I never go to School. She hits me with a belt when I don't finish the pieces. She locks me in the dark basement. She stole all the things my mom left for me. Please. Her voice breaks as tears begin to stream down. Don't let me go with her. I don't want to be scared anymore. The police handcuff Ashley as she violently struggles, screaming threats and obscenities. You have no idea who you're dealing with. I'll destroy you, Morrison. Mia, for the first time since Gabriel met her, breathes visibly relieved, her small shoulders finally relaxing as she watches her tormentor being taken away. In the imposing courtroom 302, under the watchful eye of the press that gained access to the case, Judge Harrison, with his grey hair and stern expression shaped by 30 years on the bench, adjusts his reading glasses before pronouncing the sentence. This court has heard all testimonies and analyzed all evidence presented by the prosecution and defense. The testimony of the minor Mia Walker, the financial evidence, the medical records documenting injuries consistent with physical abuse, and the legally obtained recordings are conclusive. He takes a deep breath before continuing, looking directly at the defendant, Ashley Walker, considering the severity and systematic nature of the crimes committed against a vulnerable child who was under your care. This court sentences you to 8 years in prison without possibility of parole for the crimes of systematic child abuse, child labor exploitation, financial fraud, and illegal appropriation of property, all misappropriated assets, calculated at approximately $1.7 million, must be fully restored to Mia Walker's trust fund with retroactive interest. Additionally, a comprehensive criminal investigation has already been opened by the Attorney General's office regarding the public officials involved in the corruption scheme revealed during this process. A murmur runs through the room as photographers capture the moment. Ashley, wearing a discreet suit that fails to mask her desperation, is escorted out by 2 officers. As she passes, she shoots a look of pure hatred and contempt at Gabriel, who remains seated in the front row, anxiously awaiting the next judicial decision, the verdict on his request for temporary guardianship of Mia. In the matter of custody of the minor Mia Walker, the judge continues, this court temporarily grants custody to Mr. Gabriel Morrison for an initial period of 6 months, with regular visits from social services to evaluate the child's welfare. The decision regarding permanent adoption will be reviewed at the end of this period. 6 months later, Gabriel's sophisticated duplex apartment is completely transformed, unrecognizable to his old friends. Colorful drawings decorate the once immaculate stainless steel refrigerator. Carefully organized toys occupy shelves that previously displayed only awards and law books. Framed photos of trips to the park and zoo have replaced the abstract minimalist artwork. An early Christmas tree, still in November, stands in the corner of the living room, decorated with ornaments clearly chosen by a child. The private elevator door opens and Mia comes running in, her uniform from the prestigious St. Francis Primary. School impeccable, her well-groomed brown hair tied in an elaborate braid, naturally rosy cheeks replacing her previously sickly pallor. Her eyes, once constantly vigilant and fearful, now shine with genuine childish joy. Look at my quarterly. Grades! She waves the report card while jumping excitedly. Mrs. Peterson said I'm the best in the class at math, and I also got second place in the spelling bee. Gabriel kneels down to her level, smiling with genuine pride that he had never felt in any of his professional achievements. That's fantastic. Mia, I'm incredibly proud of you. Should we celebrate with a special dinner tonight? Can we have pizza and watch a movie? She asks hopefully, something that would have been unthinkable months ago, when she could barely make requests or express preferences. Absolutely. You pick the movie. Oh, I almost forgot. She opens her purple backpack, her favorite item purchased. On her first day with Gabriel, I need you to sign this. She holds out an official school paper. It's the permission slip for the school field trip to the Natural History Museum next week. We're going to see real dinosaurs. Of course, I'll sign it right now. Gabriel picks up a pen from the desk. Thanks, Dad. Gabriel freezes, the pen suspended over the paper, his heart racing. It's the first time she's called him that, a simple word that now carries a universe of meaning. Mia continues talking excitedly about which dinosaurs she hopes to see, apparently unaware of the monumental impact of that moment. But Gabriel can barely hear through the emotion that completely overwhelms him. That night, after pizza, a movie, and bedtime stories, Gabriel stands at the bedroom door, watching Mia sleeping peacefully, hugging the teddy bear she never lets go of. His first gift to her. The therapy sessions have reduced the nightmares that were once constant. In the dimness of the bedroom, decorated with fluorescent stars, Gabriel Morrison, previously known only as a ruthless businessman, reflects deeply on how that unexpected visit to collect a simple overdue rent completely and irrevocably transformed his existence, giving him something that all his financial empire could never buy: a real family and the privilege of being called Dad.